Hey, welcome back to another episode of Inquisitively Me, and I hope you're doing well. In today's episode, we are diving deep into a topic that affects so many of us: anxiety. Whether you've personally experienced heightened states of anxiety or know someone who has, understanding anxiety, its causes, symptoms, and effective coping strategies is crucial. Let's start with what is anxiety. I want to make it known and clear that anxiety is natural. Everyone experiences some level of it. It's not something we want to toss away or get rid of, but instead manage it in a way where it does not impede with our functionality. It's a natural response to stress and possibly even danger. I say it is not something we want to get rid of because it is a way our brain attempts to protect us, believe it or not. That odd feeling you get walking past a dark alley, that nervous feeling of taking another route because you sense danger, there's anxiety attached to that. It is meant to protect us and get us to react fast to dangers or emergencies. However, sometimes this response becomes excessive and uncontrollable. That is when it can negatively impact our daily lives. There are various factors that contribute to this more heightened or excessive state of anxiety, including brain chemistry, genetics, personality traits, environmental factors like our upbringing and societal pressures, and life experiences like trauma or major life changes can trigger anxiety. There's not one single thing we can point to for the cause of anxiety. Anxiety can manifest both physically and emotionally. We can experience rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, fatigue, dizziness, and even gastrointestinal issues. It is also important to note that physical symptoms can exacerbate emotional distress. There can also be excessive worrying, fear, racing thoughts, avoidance behavior, and difficulty concentrating, among others. Quick aside, I attended law school for some years, and anyone who attended knows the first year is the most challenging. I was so anxious that year. I ended up developing a stomach ulcer from all of the stress and the heightened state of anxiety or worry I was constantly in. It's not a joke. Please be honest with your doctor if you feel any odd physical symptoms or experiencing a lot of anxiety in general. The way we feel at times shows up physically in our bodies, so listen to that. Don't neglect it. There are different types of anxiety disorders. The common ones you hear are generalized anxiety disorder, where there's a persistent and excessive worrying about different aspects. Social anxiety disorder, where there's an intense fear of social situations and it's associated with fear of being judged by others. Separation anxiety disorder. Panic disorder, where there are recurrent panic attacks or co-occurring disorders. For example, anxiety overlapping with depression or other mental health conditions. Reach out to me if you want me to go in more depth into any of these or all of these, but what I wanted to relay today is that anxiety is not a one-size-fits-all experience. Everyone experiences it differently, and there are various types. Now, when it comes to coping strategies, there are many out there, but it is about you figuring out what works best for you. Meditation may work for me, and it won't for you, but you need to give it a good try to find that out. With the right tools, managing anxiety is possible. One example is deep breathing. It can help calm our nervous system during those moments of anxiety. Box breathing is a good one. It has worked for many clients of mine, and colleagues of mine have told me it works well with their clients too. I actually came across something a while back that the US Navy SEALs use box breathing, which was interesting. But what it does, it deactivates the fight or flight response. What you do is breathe in through your nose as you count to 4 slowly. You hold your breath for 4 seconds. You then slowly exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. Then you repeat by holding your breath for 4 seconds again. Then you inhale for 4 seconds again. You know you're getting a good breath when you are inhaling, you are allowing your belly to rise or expand. That is a deep breath. If you cannot hold your breath for that long, or it freaks you out to hold your breath, or it freaks you out to hold for that long, cut it down to 3 or 2 seconds instead, and then allow the box to be 3 or 2 seconds each corner, essentially. If you Google box breathing, you'll be able to see a diagram of what I'm talking about, but you just continue on that cycle. The breathing and the counting will help calm your nervous system, and you can repeat this exercise as many times as needed to get you more grounded. Another I like, and I'm not sure if it has a name, it probably does, but I can't think of it right now, but You begin by inhaling through your nose for 1 second, and then you exhale for 2, either through your mouth or nose. Then you inhale 2, and you exhale 3. You breathe in 3, you exhale 4. You get the idea. I especially like this one because it's not noticeable. So if you're in a public space and you're attempting to calm yourself down, you do not want the attention on you for whatever reason, you're trying to hide it. It's a great way to calm yourself down in a public place. Getting exercise and eating well should also help manage anxiety. There are so many studies out there on how our physical health impacts our mental well-being. It makes sense, but we often separate the two. But I'm glad to see more people viewing ourselves more holistically and recognizing how connected our minds and bodies are. It does not mean you have to have the best physique and some kind of restrictive diet, but movement is important. Movement and diet releases different chemicals in our bodies to feel good or not feel so good. So it's important to keep that in mind. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is also something many have found success in trying to cope with their heightened anxiety levels. CBT deals with our thought patterns and the stories we tell ourselves. To simplify it as much as I can, the idea is that our thoughts and beliefs affect our feelings and behaviors. So thinking, feeling, and behaving are all related. So to tackle feeling and or behavior, we want to look into our thinking, let's say. Many of the things we're anxious about have history. There may be multiple reasons we fear or worry about specific things as much as we do. Discovering that in order to shift that thought process may help ease, if not completely knock out, whatever anxiety is attached to it. Seeking professional help here is great if you're interested in CBT, but there are also books available. I know I even have a CBT book for dummies in my bookshelf right now, and it's been helpful for me personally. So if you're not able to see someone in your community, please know that there are books out there as well. Mindfulness has hands down been the best thing I've ever incorporated in my life. That is by far the best tool or strategy or thing I use most when managing my own anxiety. We are so often either thinking about the past or what's going to happen in the future that we completely dismiss the present. Mindfulness is about intentionally being present. If I'm extremely worried about something at this point, I can catch myself and ground myself back to the present. I think, hey, you are thinking way into the future right now, or hey, there's no point in worrying about the past. It happened already. Focus on the now. You can also ground yourself through meditation, which is essentially paying attention to your breathing and allowing thoughts to pass you by. It is not about not thinking about anything while meditating. I know it's hard for many of us to even think of the idea of not thinking, but instead to allow the thought to be there, but also know that it will leave. Don't judge yourself for having the thought in general, or especially through meditating, but understanding that thoughts come and go is a essential part of mindfulness. Our thoughts, they are not the truth. They're just thoughts. The more we practice that, the more you become self-aware and catch those moments of straying away from the present. So just allow thoughts to just come and go. Know that when you feel something or when you think something, the thought will be there for a bit and it will also leave. When you are in a heightened state of anxiety, it sucks. There's no pretty way to say it. It feels uncontrollable. It feels mismanaged. It feels like you're stuck. There is hope to manage symptoms and find a better balance in our nervous system. I hope in this episode you got a better understanding of anxiety, the symptoms, possible causes, and coping strategies to implement moving forward. If you want to support the podcast to stay up to date with all of my episodes, the easiest way to do that is by following the podcast on your favorite podcast platform or subscribing to the Inquisitively Me channel if you watch and listen through YouTube. If you really want to help me spread this information, please rate and review or like and share the episode with family and friends, anyone you think could benefit from it. If you want to contact me, email me at inquisitivelymepodcast@gmail.com or follow the Instagram @_inquisitivelymE. I look forward to it. Thank you for sharing this space and time with me. Take care of yourself. Keep asking, keep wondering, keep being inquisitively you. Until next time.